What's up, players? Welcome back to Amateur 8 Ball Breakdown with Ben Myers and APA Skill Level 6. Here's the lag. That 5 ball got a little ahead of the 7, but that's okay. 7 comes in and stops real nice. Here we go with game 1. Looks like a nice solid break. Couple balls go in that nearest corner. Look like one of each. So right here you have choice. You have, whichever category you want, go ahead and go get it. And I'm not 100% sure, if one of them looked better than the other one. I think, I chose the low balls, I believe, because I guess, just kind of appealed to me at the time. If I was going to guess my rundown after that 7 ball shot, I think it's the 6 to the side, the 1 to the corner, the 2 to the closest corner to us, then maybe the 5 to the corner to the right of the screen, and then the 3 to the side pocket, and the 8 to the side. So I feel like I had a confident setup, and I knew what I wanted to do. Sometimes I ought to break this thing down a little more before I just start firing, but sometimes you see it and just once you make a choice, you go for it. Right here, I just missed that 6. Looked like it just caught the titty. Probably didn't take quite as much time as I probably should have. Not much excuse on that though. You gotta finish that. That's definitely a makeable shot. Got to make those. So right here he goes for that. I think that was the 11 in the side. Looked like he thought that it rolled a little too far, but I think that works out in his favor. He ends up dropping that 14 without too much trouble and coming down here and getting a good shot on the 9 afterwards. Had it rolled a little slower, still would have had a good shot at that 10 in the side. I think maybe he was thinking to shoot the 10. That's what he looks like. He come over to look to see if he could take the 10 to the corner or what. But I think that 9 ball becomes the option. You almost have a straight in shot at the 9. Why wouldn't you take it? And you just follow through a little bit, let the ball naturally roll, and then you got choices here for the 12 and the 11. And that body language to me says he felt good about it. That 11 ball, he must have rolled right in there to have a great shot at that 11 ball. And I think he, still probably could have got around that 3 for the 10 if he had to. But he bangs at 11 without a problem. When you give yourself a security like that, you can try to squeeze in there and get a chance at that 11 ball, and if it goes and you can take it, go ahead. And if you can't, then you got that 10 ball as a little security. If he could get around that 3 to get to 10, then he wouldn't, I think he felt confident that he was going to end up with a good shot out of those. And you can see right here where he marks where he wants his cue ball to stop with his Q-tip. And that's the difference between a skill level, 7 and somebody a little lower. Like he knows. He's got that ball control to get the cue ball where he wants to get it. And I think at this point he knows he's just got to make these 2 shots. And the cue ball is going to naturally roll right where he wants it to. And have a great shot at that 8 ball afterwards. Maybe just a hair of bottom English to get that ball to come back out just a little bit instead of rolling closer to the corner. And you can't ask for a better setup. And he knew what he wanted to do, and that's the difference between a 6 and a 7. I mean, he just, you make one little mistake, and a 7's going to take advantage of that every single time. And that's it. Game 1 is over. Here we go with the break for game 2. We got a dry break. Looks like I decided to go for that 12 in the corner there. That's a nice shot. I think right here, that 9, maybe I wanted it in the side and it wasn't as direct as I wanted it to, so then I end up going for the corner. And I think I just miss it. And that's pretty much it. I didn't end up with a good shot afterwards, so it's kind of whatever, but I don't know. I don't think that was a defensive shot. It was just a miss. And right here, we'll see what my opponent does to get going. You know, because that cue ball set behind that 4, it kind of left him in a tough spot too. I think the only real option he has for a decent shot is to cut that 4, and that's what he goes with. So we get that 4 in the side. That's nice. And I think from there, you know, I don't know what he did here. You know, maybe he had to cut. Did he cut the 2? I think that's what it was. He ended up cutting this 2. Yeah, cuts the 2. Thanks to my buddy for having that menu over there, so I had to block that out, but that's all right. But he makes that 2. That was nice, and he got a break up on that 9. That that first or second shot that I missed that left that 9 in front of the 5. But now he left himself a situation where he's got to choose between that 5 or that 7. I think probably the 5 would have been the easier shot, but either way, you kind of leave yourself in a tough spot afterwards. So he's going for the 7. He missed the 7, but he had a great shot at the 5 afterwards, which would have left him good shape for that 6, and he might have been able to get out, but you got to make your object ball. So now I'm back up at the table, shooting those high balls. There's still a little cluster there in the middle of the table. The cut for the 9 looks like the best option, I think. Everything else kind of tied up. Maybe the 15 cut to the corner, but I think that 9's got to be the way you go. Pretty sure that's the way I actually shot it too. So here we go. Nice cut for the 9. Nice little touch on that. Kind of got myself stuck back behind a bunch of these balls, but all in all, it went. So that's good. So you had an option there for maybe the 10 in the corner. I don't think anything goes past that 3 ball behind the 1 there. And I don't know, maybe I was going for a little bit of a defense there. So right here, I think when I shot that, I was going for a little bit of defense, and I think I should have snugged up right behind the 7 ball, and that would have left him in a really tight spot. Hopefully not have a straight shot up to the corner, but that have left him real tight on trying to figure something out after that. I think I hit it a little hard because you leave that 7 ball as an option still. Might not have been a bad idea, though, to get that 7 ball out of my way, So then he's got to figure out what he's going to do. He might be able to get that 7 and the 5, but he's going to have a tough time getting shape on that 6, 1, and 3 that's all clustered up there in the middle of the table. The 7 goes. He might have rolled out just a little bit too far because, he kind of makes a hand gesture there. It looks like he can't get the breakout he wants. But, I think from here you got to take that 6 to the corner and go for the breakout, right? Something like that. But if you can't get the breakout, then you got to hit it soft enough to have a good shot at that 3 ball still. See how he plays it. Look like he's thinking about some bottom English there. Draw back out for the 5. 1 rail back out for the 5. Bunch of bottom English. Yeah, bottom English bites. The 6 ball goes. He's asking for the cue ball to stop. Maybe he wanted the 1 in the corner. You can tell by the hand gestures. A lot of people do that. They'll try to coach the cue ball, tell it to do what you want it to do, kind of. Right here, I think he's sizing up that 3 to see what he could do with it later. I don't think he could get around the 11 to do anything with the 3 to the side or anything like that. Maybe he's looking see if there's any kind of a defense. I'm not sure what he's, trying to figure out here. I think the plan was to shoot the 1 to the corner, so I'm guessing he's going to go for that little accidental bump. That's okay. We ain't pros, so we don't worry about those things. That's a beautiful shot, and he lines up the 3 ball afterwards, which is great. Just got to take the 3 and then figure out how you're going to make the 5 and get a shot at the 8 ball afterwards. The 8 will go up to the corner or down to this corner that we're closest to. No problem. Just make the shots. He's a 7. He's a skill level 7. He should, he shot great in this match for sure. Um, so that 3 goes no problem. So let's see what we get here. He's going for this 5. A lot of times I think is what happens any skill level. You go for the gusto and you try to do more with that shot than you really have to. You know, Objective 1, make the object ball. That's something when you start to get up in higher skill level, you always got to tell yourself object ball is the first priority. You know, you're a good enough shooter. You can figure something out with that 8. You don't need a great shot. You can have a decent shot and be fine. So right here, I knocked that. I don't know what that was. I don't even remember anymore. It's gone now though. I was thinking that's the 15, but I think the 15's still up there. Or no, that's probably the 13 and the 11 or something. There we go. I think that is the 11 right there that I shot for that defense. It's a nice defense. Just slide back there behind the 8 ball. Get my ball out in the open so I'll have an easy shot at it later. And you see he's measuring it up so he can get a legal hit. I think he does here. I think he gets a legal hit. Let's see here. And this is, I didn't know if he'd be able to squeeze through there or not, but he squeezes right between that 8 and that 10 ball. And that's got to be tight. That'll make you pucker up a little bit. He gets the legal hit, but then he scratches. I thought that 5 ball was still going to fall after that, though. But yeah, he dropped that cue ball, and that gives me ball in hand. 4 balls, all wide open. Like, that's, skill level 6. There's always opportunity. Right here, I do struggle sometimes just trying to figure out the run, make the ball go where I want it to go. Sometimes I just need to relax, figure it out before I start shooting. But you start shooting and then you get a little off of something, you get a little off of something else, and next thing you know, you end up like a little domino effect. So right here, I don't know. I don't think I wanted that 10 next. I think I wanted this 13, and we knocked that off the table. We knock out, just a little bit of spin, right English on that. So we come back out for the 14 real nice like. Right here, I think I shoot this with just a little stun shot. And now we just got to make this 10 to the corner. Again, that's highest priority. Make that object ball. I don't want to worry about the 5. I don't want to worry about any kind of defenses. I don't want to worry about what his shape will be afterwards, what my shape's going. Make the 10 ball. Then we can figure it out. And it turns out that it bumped that 8 just a little bit, but I end up with a pretty easy straight-in shot there to the side. There might have been a little bit of cut to it, but that's a very makeable shot, especially for, higher skill levels. So there it is, game 2. That's it. If any of you players got videos you want broke down, send them in to amateur8ballbreakdown@gmail.com. Alright, players, don't forget to show your opponent some appreciation with a fist bump and a handshake, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd like, subscribe, and ring the bell.